In this episode, everybody cries. These aren't real tears, this is acting. Hey, here's your spoiler warning for episode 14. You'll recall from the previous episode, the party is at a ball, and that episode ended with the ultimate doubleheader of scary situations. Because for one, Chetney had discovered that Lady Emoth, this fancy lady, was transforming into a Duggar-like goo entity with these shade creepers, and he fled that scene from the back rooms. And he came into the main hall to find that Ashton had started a duel. Are you ready to rumble? Here is Ashton versus General Ratanish, the leader of the Paragon's Call mercenary crew. For this duel, fists are the weapon of choice, and General Ratanish seems pretty impressed by Ashton's vigor in this fight. So, since they're both punching, they're both barbarians, they both rage, and they both just smack the silly crap out of each other. It's wonderful. But in the end, Ratanish comes out on top. Ashton says, "I'm not backing down." That would be rude. So General Ratanish smashes his face into the pavement and knocks him unconscious. Good try, mate. Good try. After the fight, General Ratanish uses this as an opportunity to really spruik his wares, the wares of the Paragon's Call, saying, hey, this is our fighting prowess with just fists. Imagine if we had proper weapons and we were out there protecting your streets. This is why you need the Paragon's Call to protect Drusar. Now, he markets himself like he's advertising Raid Shadow Legends, our sponsor. No, I'm joking. That was a joke. Please don't leave. So, fresh cut grass heals Ashton, and the party, along with all the nobles, goes inside. However, Orym, with his very high passive perception, sees Gavis, the speaker of the quorum, talking to a woman who looks pretty significant. This noblewoman has a long braid, she's older, in her 50s or so, and after chatting for a bit, they make their way over to Armand, who is the person, the dwarf, that they suspect of being on the quorum. Logic follows that maybe this woman's on the quorum as well. So Lordna, in her own weird way, decides to try and suss this woman out. She makes herself appear edgy and cool at the party and makes her way over to this woman to chat. Turns out her name is Mistress Orlana Shashadre. But Lordna doesn't introduce herself as Lordna surname. She introduces herself as Lorelei Dorolo. I'll remind you, people that didn't catch Campaign 1, Dorolo is the name of the noble family at Whitestone. Lordna rolls pretty badly on a deception check, and this woman probably sees through it. So she actually just accuses her, or insinuates outright, hey, I'm looking to talk to someone that's on the quorum, so I was hoping I could speak to you and Armand. The woman's like, hey, we're not on the quorum, I'm just a noble, what are you talking about? Good try. Well, not really, but good try. While this is happening, Chetney, who has just come fresh from being invisible in the back rooms and seeing Lady Emoth transform into her scary, gooey form, comes back and talks to Imogen and tells her everything that transpired back there. And then Imogen transfers that information to Dorian and says, hey Dorian, your brother is missing. Cyrus. Chetney couldn't find him, right? Cyrus is missing. Also around here, Fern has a fantastic moment where I think Ashley actually forgot the purpose of them going to this ball, because they came to this ball to plant this decoy ring on Armand Treshy and, in doing so, taking his real ring off. But she's like, okay, we've got his ring that you wanted us to steal. And everyone's like, well, I don't think that was the point. Ashley, I don't think that was what we were here to do. So they're discussing, what should we do with Armand Treshy's actual ring that we took off him? And Fresh Cut Grass is like, well, I eat metals. I could just eat it, right? But Ashley, Fern, just puts the ring on and she's just wearing it. Chaos. Utter chaos. Lord Escharos thinks this might be a good opportunity to retire to his suite, so Imogen and Orym offer to escort him to those back rooms. Ashton, though, has kind of peeled off from the group because he's been approached by the other members of the Paragon's Call, the edgy human and the scary gnome and the cute minotaur, and he's taken away to talk to General Ratanish, the person that he fought in that duel. Because you recall, General Ratanish was pretty impressed with his guts. So the two barbarians talk over a drink, and General Ratanish is interested in getting Ashton to work with him at some point. But mainly, he's there to inquire about Ashton's mask, the visage of the Nightmare King that he was wearing on his face. The general is unblinking in what is turning into kind of a polite interrogation. Says, "It would behoove you to tell me this information. Where did you see it? Did you encounter it in person? Etc., etc., etc." And without any roles being made for deception or anything like that, just by inference, General Ratanish pieces together the information and says it was impressive work for a crew to demolish a huge section of Drusar, but I wouldn't recommend destroying somebody's property and robbing them and then showing up to a high society ball where they are the very next day, pretty much. So it's pretty interesting that General Ratanish knows that Ashton's crew blew up the moon tower, but he doesn't actually really care. It's just that his employee cares. The general's employer being the business commissioner, I presume. But here, we finally get to deal with Lady Emoth. This is the bit of the episode I was waiting for. Fern catches Ashton up on everything that had happened. Hey, I heard about Lady Emoth being weird and Dorian's brother is missing. But hey, Ashton, can I go get you a drink? Now, Fresh Cut Grass is there and he rolls insight into, hey, Fern, what's your plan here? And works out that Fern plans to do more than just go get a drink. She wants to go back there to the suites and find out what's up with this. She wants to investigate. And Ashton says, hey, Fresh Cut Grass, go with her. You have my blessing. You two go back there and see what's up. At the same time, Chetney and Dorian are both heading back there as well to look for Dorian's brother. As they're approaching the two guards that are protecting this back area of the building, they see two people wearing kind of green long trench coat style robes heading back there. One of them is a gnome, I believe, female, and then a male half-orc. And they chat to the guards for a little bit and then they go on through. These two people are not wearing masks. Like, you know, masks, not masks. Here's the thing though. Dorian's heard of these people wearing green before. There's an organization called the Green Seekers, and they're independent investigators. Private eyes, baby. And they, in this case, are they investigating or are they bounty hunting? And this whole segment here is a little bit chaotic because you've got these four characters, which is Fresh Cut Grass, Fern, Chetney, and Dorian, and they are all trying to get into these back rooms. But I don't know, they've got like 4 different plans that they try to do at once, because of course they do. The main goal of Chetney's is that he wants everyone to get to Lady Emoth's room back there to investigate what's going on. Is Dorian back there? We'll find out. But Fern and Dorian, they go, oh, guards, we have to go to the bathroom. Can you please escort us to the water closet? And they're going to go to the water closet that Chetney heard someone using. Sorry, I just realized it's getting... You don't need this much detail. You don't need this much detail in your life. What are you doing? Matt, bring it back, reel it in. The guards escort Fern and Dorian to the water closet, and they have a peek in there, but Dorian's brother is not in there. Oh no. So Dorian casts a spell here, minor illusion, to distract the guards and send them over towards Lady Emoth's room with the sound of a lady doing a scream. Should I try and do a scream? I won't do it. I'll put it in post. Fern follows where the guards go, and she listens at the door when they go inside Lady Emoth's room, and she hears the sounds of like growling and squelching and metal dragging on the floor and kind of crunching, and it just sounds like silent, gross combat in there. And Dorian, when I say Dorian, Robbie even says at the table, did I just send those 2 nice guards to their death? So those 4 characters, Fern, Dorian, Chetney, and Fresh Cut Grass, they converge at that door to Lady Emoth's room. And Fresh Cut Grass is a little bit disturbed here, saying, hey, there are guards in there that need help. We have to go in there and help them. We're the good guys. They've got souls, right? So Fresh Cut Grass rolls into the room and hears Lady Emoth's voice asking, hey, what are you doing here? Looks left, not there. Looks right, not there. Looks up at the roof, and baby, she is on the ceiling. And he says, a smiley day to you. Before we get into combat, do you guys want to see my cat? I've got my phone right here and he's right next to us. So if you like these videos, do me a favor, leave a comment, click like, click subscribe, because I love making these and I want to see you come back every week. And check out my Discord, which is matthewperkins.net/Discord. Hey, check it out, it's me. Whoa, Inception, whoa. No, I'm joking. So here's the combat. And don't worry, we're not doing a round by round or anything like that. Here's just the main bits. It's combat between Lady Emoth, who is this kind of slimy, musty goo woman, and 4 shade creepers, which are these kind of gremlinish creatures that explode when they die. And they're versing half the party. Now, throughout the combat, the other party members from elsewhere in this ball area are going to making their way to the suites, you know, so they're going to join up in round 2 and round 3, etc., etc. But here we go. The combat gets a little bit dicey because the party didn't bring all of their proper weapons in. So Orym's using a dagger that he snuck in. It's only really Dorian who snuck in the gambler's rapier that he got from Bertrand that has a super duper proper weapon. And he does some pretty good work with it. My favorite moment in this combat was when Ashton enters the room and he doesn't have quite enough movement to get towards Lady Emoth, the main target. But he does see a shade creeper pinned underneath a bookshelf. He doesn't have a weapon on him, so he just lifts up the bookshelf and just slams it down on this pinned creature and just obliterates it. But at the end of the fight, after the shade creepers have all been killed and it's just Lady Emoth trying to escape down this hole in the wall, the party's gathered around and they're trying their best. They're whacking her, they're hitting her, they're blasting her. But in the end, she's in the hole, she disengages with the special ability she has and just slides down like a poo down the toilet. So after initiative wraps up, Orym, brave, stoic, ties a rope to his ankle, ties the other end to a bedpost, pulls out a torch and goes in the hole. But he goes down as deep as he can where he can't see anymore and he can't go any further, can't see her, can't find her, comes back up. The one guard that they managed to save, his name is Do Not, and he asks the party, hey, when I'm making my report about what happened here, who should I say saved me? What's the name of your organization, of your group? And here we go. We actually have an official name now. I think we're done with, you know, false alarms. Imogen says, hey, nice to meet you. Just call us Bell's Hells. Bell being Bertrand Bell, Hell being Hell. We learn a little bit of worrying information here. The room that they're in, that they were fighting in, that was being ransacked by Lady Emoth, belongs to Gies, the goblin headmaster from the academy, and he specializes in ruins and ancient histories, which makes me think that maybe Lady Emoth has stolen some ancient text or some rare artifact from some forgotten civilization. But don't get comfortable because things are about to get pretty uncomfortable. So Dorian hears somebody speaking outside the room and the voice is familiar. Hey, he's saying, unhand me. There's been some kind of mistake. I'm allowed to be here. There's been some misunderstanding. And the party goes outside and they see those 2 people in the green coats, those 2 bounty hunters, those 2 investigators, and they're leading Dorian's brother away in manacles. Gavis, the speaker of the quorum, announces that, oh, don't worry everybody, there's been a burglar that's been apprehended, everything's fine. Lordna, up in the sky, on one of the chandeliers, just casts darkness, trying to create a distraction, get rid of some of the light. But of course there are many powerful spellcasters there, and somebody clicks their fingers and casts counterspell or dispel, and it goes away. Dorian escalates things. He rolls. Remember that bottle of fog that they had? I'm pretty sure that's what he uses here. He rolls it like a smoke grenade out at the feet of the 2 people walking his brother away. And then he just charges in. Matt even gives him the option. Robbie, are you trying to do this subtly or are you trying to just bull your way in there? He goes, no, I charge in there. He has to roll a perception check because it's all smoky. He can't see. They can't see. He rolls badly and he ends up running into the big half-orc. And the half-orc is like, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? Charm person, says Dorian. Well, Robbie says it and then Dorian casts it. That's how Dungeons and Dragons works, everybody. So the spell succeeds and he goes, don't worry about it. And the guy goes, all right, I won't worry about it. So Dorian grabs his brother and tries to pull him away, but he's still attached to this other green seeker. But a mysterious stranger, a benefactor, comes in with a cane, a large stature, and bops this person, trips this other green seeker to the ground. It's Lord Esteros. It's Owlbear Man himself. He's come to save the day. I love this half-orc. What a lad. So, now Dorian is in this smoke with his brother. He casts invisibility on his brother and they try to leave the room. But they need a little bit more help. Because I'll remind you, there are still like 80 people in this room. Laudna adopts her form of dread, and this means she becomes a little bit bigger, a little bit spookier, and she screams, "Get out!" at all of the lords and ladies. So they start fleeing, and in that confusion, Dorian is able to blend in with the crowd and flee with them towards his carriage waiting outside. So guards start to advance on Laudna and her spooky visage, but Imogen and Freshcut Grass manage to cast calm emotions and really settle most of the situation down. When one of the guards who wasn't affected by calm emotions gets really suspicious of Laudna and really wants people to arrest him, someone comes out to vouch for her. It's Do Not, the guard they saved earlier, and says, "Hey, they saved me earlier. They're heroes. The creepy things, the monsters, they're this way." The party, together, they all get their way individually out towards the carriages. Lord Estros is already in his carriage, and he's already wearing his hat. He's got his cane planted between his legs, and he's just gripping it. He is jaw clenched, seemingly furious at what's happened. Lord Estros, the whole carriage ride, just stonewalls them, does not speak. And I'm thinking as I'm watching, oh my goodness, they are in so much trouble. Oh boy. They get back to Lord Estros's manor, and he says, "Well, that was certainly eventful." Laudna says, "Lord Estros, are you angry with us?" And he says, "I'm actually quite proud. I didn't bring you to be perfect party guests. I brought you to be problem solvers, and that's what you did." Dorian lifts the spell of invisibility that he has enchanting his brother Cyrus and reveals the fugitive in their midst. His brother Cyrus says, "I was trying to pay off my bounty. Folks around the Corsairs knew I was looking for fast cash. One of them said they'd worked with Lady Emoth. She worked with Dagar a little bit back, and we hit it off. She said she would escort me to this place and we were going to steal some stuff, embarrass some noble people. She said she had a great treasure someplace that she would split with me. The Green Seekers kept on asking me questions about some tower, some burglary and destruction, which is the Moon Tower, between you and me. And Lady Emoth had a business partner that she visited often, maybe her mother." But here is the reason everybody was crying this episode. Cyrus has a mighty bounty on his head, and this time he's actually committed the crimes that he's accused of. He did try and rob this ball that they were just at, and Dorian was seen breaking him out of handcuffs and stealing him away. They're both fugitives now. They both look quite similar. They've both got to get out of town. Lord Estros offers them both the use of his skyship to smuggle them out of town over to Oman and beyond. This means that Robbie is leaving the campaign. He is a guest. He's a guest player, and he's leaving. He's not gone forever, because he is going to be part of a 2-episode special mini campaign as part of Exandria Unlimited. I don't know when it's airing, but here's everything I know about it up on the screen right now. So they have their touching goodbyes, and it's really pretty emotional. If you're only going to watch one bit of the episode, watch the last 10 minutes and you'll really get something out of it. There's a lovely moment where, as they're leaving, Dorian is taking the skyship, the wooden skyship that Chetney made for him in an earlier episode, and as the carriage that's taking him away towards his destination leaves, in the dust trail, there's just the floating skyship propelled by a levitation spell, and then a child, street kid, runs up and snatches out of the air and runs off with it. Was anybody else just a little bit disappointed that Robbie didn't actually sing the song that he wrote for everyone? He did say Dorian plays the song he wrote for everyone, but I wanted to hear what the lyrics were. What were they? I don't know. Maybe we could write it. That would be fun. All these people down here, these are my patrons. Thank you very much, patrons. Appreciate support. And if you like this video, you might love one of these 2 videos over here. Wow, give them a click. Thank you for watching. I'll see you later.